Citizens of the internet, happy 420. And I'm not one of those guys who's, a 420 fanatic where I have to celebrate 420 like it's a holiday or anything. I'm not one of those stoners, but I appreciate it. It's another day on the calendar, and it's a day for stoners to celebrate. It's an excuse, much like St. Patrick's Day is an excuse to drink a bunch of liquor. It's an excuse to smoke a bunch of weed or, do dabs or eat edibles, whatever you got to do, whatever you got to do. So it's a very special episode of Politics today. And I have some footage to show you. I usually call these clips a piece of tape, or which is dating myself. It's footage, but this is 420 special 420 edition Politics footage of a conversation that your boy Seth Rogen had about smoking weed all day, every day. So let's watch.
I'm not quite cut out for this world, but weed makes it okay. And in a different interview, I read that you'd said you would find life really hard without marijuana. Yeah.
So relatable.
Yeah, for sure. I smoke weed all day. So I would imagine it would be worse if I didn't. Every day? Yeah. Today? Oh, yeah. Every day. Yeah, I smoke weed all day, every single day since I was 20 years old, maybe, something like that. 20. And I've been very productive in that time.
Me too.
Maybe that's what I've been missing.
A little bit of an echo in there.
When you say that you were
recording there. Same. And it's crazy. There's a lot of productive people who smoke weed. So it's good to hear him saying this kind of stuff. Because, a lot of athletes who don't publicly admit it smoke. People like Bill Maher, though, have been outspoken advocates. He's just an example I would call out of someone who's been very successful in his field and also openly smokes marijuana. Because there's this myth that it demotivates you and makes you lazy. And people use anything as an excuse for that, or that it kills your memory or whatever. And I use myself as an example. If I'm stoned, I might forget where I set my keys down, but I'll also remember, an article I read 6 years ago about the security state or something, so there's a lot of myths about it. Let's keep going.
Wouldn't be cut out for this world, but weed makes it okay. What do you mean? I mean, in the book and in life, I equate it to shoes or glasses. Like
this is good.
Are shoes like a crutch we use, or are they a thing that we have culturally decided make our lives easier and better? That is exactly how weed is to me. Could I not wear shoes? Probably. Could I not smoke weed? Probably. Would I just much rather smoke weed all day? Yes. And it's the same. That is how I view it. It only makes my journey through this life more comfortable, more palatable, easier to process, easier to manifest the things that I want to do. Exactly how I would be trying to do the same things I do in my life without shoes on, or without my glasses on, or without a jacket on. That is what it would be like for me to do it without smoking weed all day. I could probably do it. It would just be a bit more of a fucking pain in the ass. Seth Rogen that didn't smoke weed all day, every day. What do you believe his life would be?
I love this guy too, because he's trying to play like the Big Brother type, like, are there any what are the downsides of smoking weed?
His life would be different. I would not probably have a weed company. I probably wouldn't have made the movie Pineapple Express. I maybe wouldn't. Who the fuck knows? I maybe wouldn't have conceived of a lot of the things I've conceived of over the years. Weed has been always like a very powerful social element for me and my friends. We've hung out. A lot of the ideas we've come up with hanging out and smoking weed. You don't come up with the movie Sausage Party, not hanging out and smoking weed. So I think like the environment, as a creature.
What do you mean, Seth? You don't come up with the movie Sausage Party if you're, just drinking punch and cookies at the, social event after church?
Created amongst me and my collaborators has been very additive for sure to my creative output. So, yeah, I mean, in abstract ways and in very specific ways, like Pineapple Express being, the most specific probably.
I was looking at the wording. So the phrase I'm not quite cut out for this world, I found really curious.
I don't think any human is. That's more, I think no human is quite cut out for the world, as is exemplified by the fact that we wear underwear, that we need toilet paper, that we have shoes. We're not like pure beings that just go out into the world and can exist flawlessly. We do dozens of things that are external.
Unnatural. We do a lot of unnatural things
to make our lives livable. Weed's actually natural, unlike underwear, and shoes, and glasses. It exists in the real world. But that is part of my premise: is no human is quite out for this world. Everyone has things they use to make their lives livable. And for me, weed is one of those things, just like a roof is one of those things,
I love that, because I got into an argument a couple years ago with my mother because she drinks Diet Coke all the time. And, she'd give me crap about smoking weed. And I'm like, Mom, Diet Coke is way worse for you than smoking weed is. And that's scientifically proven. Diet Coke has NutraSweet, which has aspartame. And they've done studies with lab rats where aspartame caused cancer. So weed has the exact opposite effect. Look it up.
No, I can tell you the cost of the roof here because it's causing this sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Making it not great for our podcasting, which I think is a good thing. Can you tell me, is there a cost to weed? In terms of, has there been a cost in your life to weed? The upsides are clear because I can see your...
No, there's literally... From my, no, I mean, I've gotten it when I was younger. Because weed is illegal, stupidly, there has been situations I have found myself in that are not great in the pursuit of getting weed, but I don't blame weed for that. I blame the government for making weed illegal and making me jump through all these hoops to get it, but in general, in my life, no, there has been no downside to weed or my use of weed or my love of weed. Maybe it's cost me jobs throughout my life. I'm in the Mario Brothers movie coming out soon. I'm in the Ninja Turtles movie that I wrote and produced coming out soon. I'm producing things for giant, companies that...
All this 90s and 80s noir is popular now because all my generation's all grown up and has kids and wants to share that, Mario Brothers and Ninja Turtles vibe with their kids.
Do not seem to mind. So I have not, Steven Spielberg put me in this movie. I have not seen a definitive impact on my career because I'm known very much for being someone who smokes weed all the time. You know what I mean?
Well, all that success you've had, all those movies you named recently that some of them of which are coming out soon. Having spoken to you today, I get work ethic. I get your innate passion, which seems to have been there since you were a child. But there's people that have both of those things, and they're not Seth Rogen. You know what I mean? So is there anything else when you look back on your life? You talked about the circumstance, your mother's, being around that culture. Is there anything about you in particular, a talent? And people find this hard to answer because it requires you to say something nice about yourself.
This is interesting.
So celebrities often say, say,
I'll keep it going just for the stuff he says about Superbad, and then we'll bail.
What you do?
I honestly think because I grew up watching so many movies, and having parents that appreciated them, I, from a very young age, had an inherent understanding of cinematic storytelling, and that specifically from a writing standpoint, from how the movies were written. That is, for whatever reason, how my brain processed it. How the characters were introduced, how the conflicts between them were set up, how they played out throughout the movie, how they resolved themselves or didn't resolve themselves throughout the movie, how they manifested in set pieces and sequences that exemplified the conflicts and the themes and the tensions between the characters. For whatever reason, from a very young age, I was able to understand and write those things. And I look back now as like a 40-year-old person who has produced and helped countless people with their screenplays and written countless screenplays. Like, there are things about like what we put into Superbad as like 14-year-olds that are like fundamentally functional and good in a way that is like beyond like the average 14-year-old's ability, the average writer's ability in a lot of ways,
Anyway, Superbad is still one of the funniest movies ever made. And, I'm not a gay man, but if I was gay, Seth Rogen is the kind of guy I would be attracted to. I mean, definitely have some gay love for Seth Rogen here. So, but straight up, everything he said, I am 1,000% on the same page with. And the way he made that analogy to shoes, as with weed being kind of something that it's not necessary, but it helps in life. And I mean, I think people like him and Bill Maher and a lot of athletes, frankly, prove that I when I watch my own videos back, sometimes I realize I say frankly a lot. That's like a very old person thing to say. So forgive me for that. Anyway, this is a really great clip. I love Seth Rogen in a gay way. And I think that this was a good kind of 420 talk with y'all. So don't make judgments about people, even if you don't smoke, there's a lot of very productive, intelligent people who smoke weed every day, all day, like Seth Rogen and myself and Bill Maher. And maybe Bill Maher doesn't smoke all day every day. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Bill Maher, but between me and Seth Rogen, I think, we're tight now, right? Like we're friend of the show, Seth Rogen, from here on out. Anyway, happy 420, yo. Take good care of yourselves out there.